Perfect. Well, guys, welcome to this new episode of the podcast. My name is Charles-Henri, founder of Bahari Consulting. And today I'm joined by, I'm not going to say the one and only, but I'm joined by, and I have my notes to not forget, MVP of March of the Spain National Football League, top leading scorer so far, also of the Spanish. Did I say French just before?
Yeah, you
No.
said French, but it's okay.
Oh, sorry, Spanish. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but the Spanish, of course, Spanish National League, also top leading scorer, and new signing of the Münster Phoenix,
Yes, sir.
Malik Brown. Hey, Malik, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you very much. We were talking about it a bit offline, but we actually met in Valencia when you were playing against Firebat. I mean, I wasn't playing. I was on the stand. I used to play for Firebats, during 3 years, I don't remember. And I was playing last year. But then, yeah, when you guys play against Firebats in Valencia, so yeah, I was here. We just say hi, like, hey, how are you? But it was like between the first half and the second half. So you were like guys going up so yeah, so that's why how we met.
Okay.
But yeah, you were in the game, you were really focused, and I think that by this time you were already losing but just a bit. So the game was really tight. So yeah, I know that you were in the game, so no problem. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. The idea is really to talk about you, talk about your career, what leads you to be here in Europe. Before we start, let's talk about like your end. The end of the season in Mallorca. No, we're going to talk about this later, but what I want to know is your trip. Is your trip from Mallorca to Germany? Because there was a crazy and amazing Instagram story. And I would like to say first that you are an amazing storyteller because I was watching it and I was like, man, that's funny. So yeah, can you maybe explain us like what happened?
Oh, man. That was, it was an interesting day, man. I try to say I'm a positive person. I always try to see the positives and the negative. But I saw everything going downhill from the start. Supposedly there was some strike going on in Mallorca in the airport for I don't know exactly why, but some of my teammates told me there was, some strikes going on. And unfortunately, I don't know anything about European airlines. I'm more accustomed to the American airlines. So Ryanair, if anybody's familiar with Ryanair, that's like the spirit of, Europe.
Yeah.
So I get there about 2.5 hours before my flight, maybe 2 hours. Let's say 2 hours. I have 2 check bags. I know one is going to be a little overweight because, I have more stuff. I'm prepared to pay for it. So I checked one bag through the kiosk. It went smooth. The other one was overweight, so I had to have somebody come help me. She ends up telling me, long story short, that I can just pay 20 euros to get an extra luggage, and I could basically just combine that extra luggage to this one luggage to, supplement the extra weight. Now, mind you, this did not make sense to me. So I'm a very I'm a very conscious person. So I know when things kind of don't make sense, but at the end of the day, if I hear about a deal, I would love the deal.
Yeah.
So I asked her about 3 times and she, reassured me like, yes, you can do that. It's fine. So I get in the line to, go to the concierge and do the check-in with them. It's pretty busy. There's like groups and then there's a lot of, bickering. But here's the thing. There's bickering in languages I do not understand. I've been in Germany. I've been in Spain. I know a little bit of German. I know a little bit of Spanish. They were speaking neither. One was speaking like Arabic, but she's snapping. So I can tell she's a little upset.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 workers. So I ended up staying in line for about 40 to 50 minutes. I'm trying to get people's attention. Like, all right, this line's not moving. My flight is, about to fly out in maybe less than an hour. So I'll call one guy that, looks like me so I can get a better, understanding of what's going on. He's fairly new. I think he might have been a trainee or he, was only there for a few days. So he wasn't much help, but, I thanked him, just for, trying to help me out. So they called on the intercom saying, last call for, flight to Münster. So I go up there with my stuff saying, hey, I have the flight from Münster. I guess it was a bad day for this lady. She's rushing me saying, you need to hurry up. I'm like, what? Well, I was in line for an hour. So like I did my part. I just want you to, kind of give me
Uh-huh.
some grace.
Yeah.
So I try to tell her my bag's overweight. I'm trying to explain to her what's going on. She's not hearing it. She's just on the computer, asks for passport. She answers none of my questions.
Yeah.
I asked like 3 different questions. Answers none of it. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I see what I'm dealing with. And I see
Mhm.
it's a lady next to me working, and it looks like she's training maybe 3 or 4 of the young women. And they're just looking like, at my situation, because Shorty snaps, you need to hurry up, and I'm just trying to get clarification. Now, I do understand in airports, there's a non-refund policy. I'm
Yeah.
very aware. So my question is, if I pay for this luggage and I miss this flight, what are the next steps? Because I'd rather just pay for another flight than to pay for this luggage and pay for another flight. Like that
Yeah.
would make me very upset.
Makes sense.
She's not hearing me. She's rushing me, asking for passport, my flight stuff, telling me I need to hurry up, take stuff out the luggage. So I ended up leaving about 5 different items, 3 pairs of jeans. I had a cut off like hoodie,
Yeah.
um, brand new, never worn. I ended up leaving that as well. So I just started asking the other lady questions because at this point I'm like I don't want to be the guy who's making a scene, the American making a scene in the airport. So I'm like, let me ask this lady a question. So I try to be nice, polite. She answers my question, so I thank her. And then the supervisor comes and helps the lady. I don't know why she needed to help her, but she's helping her, and she's telling me I need to hurry up. Also, that I need to go to another counter to pay.
God.
Okay, so now I got to go to another counter to pay, which means it's another process. So I'm trying to ask the supervisor, hey, just to be clear, can I get some understanding? Still being rushed. She gives me very little detail, nothing that was actually helpful. So I ended up paying an extra 120 euros for maybe 10 extra kilograms of luggage or
Mhm.
of weight. So they're saying you need to hurry up, get to your flight, whatever. So I get to TSA. Oh my gosh. TSA is, it's a pretty decent line. I'm not going to say long, but it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting in line, I'm waiting to get to the front. I ended up, so like, if you know how TSA and works for the most part in Europe, there's like, different little slots. So when one person goes, the person doesn't slide up because
Yeah.
they're in the back. So I go around to the front because 1, I have to hurry up, and 2, there's like 3 slots.
Yeah.
I don't know if this must have made the lady mad, or I don't know. Or maybe she was having a bad day. But she's telling me, you need to take this off. You need to take that out. Take your headphones off. Take your do-rag. Like at this point, I'm like, man, do you just want me to strip? Like, like there's nothing under here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Cause before, like most places in Germany, they usually just pat, cause there's nothing
Mhm.
like, but she's making me take everything off, take everything out. And I'm just like, okay. So I get through. So I'm like, all right, I'm about to get my stuff, and I'm a hit it. Man, they pull my bag. They pull my bag, and they have to check it because they said they thought it was water. I'm like, there's no way y'all think this is water. So I had 2 little bottles, and I wish it's probably downstairs. But I might have it with me, bro. Let's see. I have 2 bottles of this. This is tahine. They said this looked like water. I said, okay. So I'm looking at the screen as he's pointing to it. I said, what makes you think this is water? It looks like sand in a bottle. And they're thinking it's water. I'm like, bro, are you serious? So I have to go all through my bag to pull out the tahini to prove it's, just seasoning.
Uh-huh.
Then I have to put it all back. So while I'm packing, I'm trying to talk to the lady about, the situation and she has no information for me.
Yeah.
That's fair. So I'm hitting it. Mind you, this airport, my gate was far.
Yeah.
So it's like fourth quarter. I'm hitting it. The last play of the game is a 100-yard
Yeah.
dash. I'm hitting it. Stuff falling off, people staring at me. I'm sweating. I'm
Yeah.
balling. I finally get to the gate. I'm thinking I made it because I see a lady with her 2 or 3 kids. They're checking in.
Yeah.
I'm right behind them. They proceed to tell me that the gate is closed.
Oh no.
Ooh. At this point, it was a breaking point because the old version of me would have just blown up because it's
Yeah.
it's it's like it was everything piled up. But I've turned over a new leaf. I'm closer to God. I took a lap. People were staring at me because I took a lap. I dropped my stuff. I took a lap, took deep breaths, and I asked God to just be with me in this moment. So
Yeah.
I go back and I asked the lady, I was just trying to get a breakdown of what's the process because I paid for the extra luggage. I mean, I
Yeah.
just saw y'all let a lady, go in. So I know the plane has not actually left, but they did not care. They did
Just a
not
little bit
care.
just a little bit of context. From the moment that you entered the airport until this moment, like how long was it?
I got there about, I'd say 11 a.m. My flight left at 1:20 p.m.,
Jeez.
like 1:20, 1:25 p.m.
Jeez.
So So that happens and it upsets me. It really upset me that they had no care in the world. Like I'm explaining
Yeah.
them all the stuff that I went to because this is not my fault. I guess it is my fault
Okay.
because they say be there 3 hours before your flight, but it wasn't that busy,
Yeah,
in my
completely.
opinion. But
Completely.
it just upset me that they had no care in the world. They were just very like overwhelmed.
Yeah. I have the feeling
So
that it's always the same with Ryanair. It's
yeah,
re- the thing is that it's one of the best airline that we have in Europe because it's really convenient. Like they have a lot of destination and it's quite easy. When we're going to Hungary with my fiance, like we always use Ryanair
yeah,
and they make the job, but God, their customer service is terrible. Like this is
so
yeah.
bad. But
So
that's not even the best part.
yeah, I was about to
Here's
say
the
like that. The end is not just about this. Like what happened next?
Man, so I pretty much they tell me I can get my luggage from the lost and found when I get downstairs, whatever. So I get my information from them and I go get my luggage. Now I'm ready to blow up because I didn't waste. I didn't already lost over 100 euros. I'm hot. I'm ready to fight because now I know I have to pay for another flight as well. So I
Yeah,
go to the customer service kiosk desk or whatever. I'm speaking to a guy. I'm explaining him my situation. This is the first person or first employee I've spoken to that actually cares about my
yeah,
situation. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not giving him frustration or showing, anger towards him. And he's being helpful. So I also asked him about, the refund and stuff like that because of, it was just bad employee. They gave me bad information. I can't do
yeah,
anything if your employees give me bad information. So he gives me basically a paper to go to the website, fill out information. And he tells me, hey, make sure you get the badge numbers of the employees so you can put it in your report. So I'm like, okay. And just to be clear, when I ask for these badge numbers, you all are required to give them. He says yes. So I'm like, it's like the police. If I ask your badge number, I don't care if you like me or not. You have to give it to me.
yeah.
Man, I go ask this lady her badge number 5 times. This is her response. It's not my fault. I did nothing wrong. I don't care. I don't care, ma'am. I asked your badge number. You're required to tell me. And she's just like, but I didn't do anything wrong. So at this point, I'm getting upset. I'm ready to fight. Like my fists are balling up. Like you're
Yeah,
about to make me mad. So let me just walk away. Let me go talk to somebody higher. So I talked to a lady that's higher. You can tell she was having a bad day. So the first thing I did was apologize. Look, I understand you might not be having the best day, and what I'm about to tell you may not help, but I do need your help with this situation. Long story short, they made me wait 10 to 20 minutes for the shorty to come back off of break just to get her badge number. So I ended up
yeah,
getting her badge number, the supervisor's number, and then the young man that helped me at the kiosk.
yeah.
And I ended up paying another 100 euros for another flight, but he was able to work with me and, get everything, all my luggage and everything. So I didn't have to pay extra for the luggage again. I
Good.
just had to pay the 100 euros and I got on a flight that evening. But I made sure I got there really early this time.
Yeah. So,
So
so it was the same day that you get the next flight.
it was like at 7:20 p.m.
Okay.
that night. that evening.
Nah, that's crazy.
So
That's crazy. Yeah.
yeah,
And I wanted to have your story because yeah, I just saw Instagram on Instagram and I was like, man,
yeah,
that was a crazy story. Good.
yeah.
Let's go
That's
maybe more a bit in the past to get to know you. Who are you, Malik? Where are you from? And what leads you to come and play to Europe?
So I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. Went to Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana, as well as Marion University, which is the MAI in
Yep.
Indiana. Um, Played football there. My career has been a story of its own. Historically, my first season in my entire life where the coach that recruited me did not leave was in Bielefeld last year. Um, Other than that, every time I get recruited, I get there, coach leaves, coach get fired,
Yep.
retire, whatever the case. So I've had a very hard, start to my football career. I got into the overseas space on accident, if we're being honest. I
It was
was
during COVID,
doing
right?
Yes, it was during COVID is when I
Yep.
started. I signed with the First and Fellbrook Razorbacks in
Yep.
2021.
Yep.
I was playing receiver and punt return, kick return specialist. And after that season, I took a 2-year break to start two businesses in Dallas. Kind of got comfortable with the lifestyle, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
Was close to walking away from football, at least
Y-
playing football.
You work as a
Um,
PT, right? Or it was a personal trainer, or it was something
Yes,
else. Yep.
that was more so of like a side thing. I had a private
Okay.
car rental company and then that moving company with one of my good friends in Dallas. Those were like the primary businesses that we had, and I did personal training on the side.
Yep. Okay.
I am big into health, so but yeah, I took those 2 years off. I kind of got talked back into playing ball because I ended on a high note. I was very young. I had a lot of life left in me as well as I enjoy traveling, man, like, being
Yeah.
able to travel and not have to, spend my own money to do it, see different cultures, experience new life, and just show the love of the game that I have,
Yeah.
and, being able to inspire others through the game that I love was amazing, so, I got back into the space, but I said, "If Imma do it, I'm gonna transition back to quarterback," which I haven't played since high school.
Yep.
And I got my first opportunity in Brazil in 2024. Yeah, that was
Hmm.
2024. And after that, it was up.
Yeah. I wanted actually to to talk about it because when I started playing football, because I used to play, when I started playing football, it was in 2012,
Mhm,
not 2011. And I remember I was playing so in France, in a club called Saint Etienne, the Giants of Saint Etienne. And when I was playing there was an American guy who came to Saint Etienne. So if you're not really familiar with France, Saint Etienne, um, well, you played in, oh, you actually played in all the big cities in Spain right now. So you didn't have like a really small city, but Saint Etienne, to make sure, to make as an example, it's like a really, really, really small city. Like there is Lyon, that's the big city on the side, but Saint Etienne is like I would say a small town because it's a city, but it's really small. And I always had in my mind like how a guy, and this guy was actually playing in what's the name? So not Penn State. He was playing in Nevada. He was playing in Nevada University. He did one training camp with the 49ers. And after this training camp, he came to play in Saint Etienne. And I was like, how a guy, an American guy, arrive in Saint Etienne, like play in Europe. And then I realized that it was really familiar, like American guys playing, coming and playing Europe. So I would like
mhm.
to know, like, when was the first moment that you maybe heard that there was American played in Europe, and that it was maybe an opportunity for you to come and play here?
So after my stints in college, I had issues with playing in college. So, while I was in college, my last 2 years, I played semi-pro. So a lot of the guys I understand it's a hobby. You guys pay to play, and
Yeah,
I've experienced that. I've had to travel over an hour just to go to practice. I've
yeah,
had to, practice with guys who work full-time jobs and have kids, and I understand it all. So,
yeah,
but it was actually one of my good friends, Ronaldo Tomasello, shout out Ronaldo, star safety for the Potsdam Royals. He told me about it, and he was talking about some guy he was speaking with, about playing overseas. And I was like, sounds cool. I wish you the best of luck. And like, I
Yeah.
was like, I'm cool. Like, I didn't really think about it. But within a week of him talking to me about it, I got an email from First and Fairbrooke. I have no idea how they found me. I don't know who gave them my information, but they gave me an offer. And talked to him, talked to Ronaldo about it. He was like, man, go for it. So I was like, I mean, I don't have any, real obligations. I don't have any bills for real. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
So let me go out there and see. Then I went out there. I got a chance to, actually see what the lifestyle was like in Bavaria.
Yeah.
And, luckily I was actually able to bring him out there for a few games.
Yeah.
And, we had a good time. So,
Yeah. This time, this is when you started your YouTube channel, right?
yes, that
Oh,
is when I
yeah.
started.
Because I watched some of your YouTube channel. I mean, of your videos there, and I don't have the feeling that you had a big cultural shock, right, from coming to the US or coming here, or maybe it was not the case. Like, can you maybe explain us like how it was for you to?
Major, major
Yeah.
culture shock. I think for
Oh,
me
okay.
though, I just coming from the city of Chicago and like going to school in Indiana and like I've always been an underdog. I've always had to kind of find my way of, getting comfortable fast. It
Yeah.
wasn't really that much of a difference. Only big difference I really had a hard time with was the beer. We drunk beer right after practice,
Yeah.
after games. Like it was like beer was like water.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that was
Completely.
probably the biggest culture shock. But due to COVID, a lot of things weren't open. So it wasn't like I did a lot of things, but it was really a good time. I love the greenness of Germany. It's very
Yeah.
green, it's beautiful, a lot of nature. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. At this time, the Razorback, they were in GFL 1 or GFL 2?
At this time, they were in two.
They were in GFL 2. Okay. And yeah, can you explain us maybe what was your experience like? How do you consider the were you surprised by the football level there? Were you surprised by the people there? Like how was it? Like yeah.
So I'd say the level, I mean, I already expected that they wouldn't be at the same level
Yeah.
as like D1s. I was blessed to be able to be in a D1 program
Hmm.
and see what that looks like. And, I understood that Europe is not at that level yet.
Yeah.
But I didn't kind of bring that expectation in. I feel like a lot of Americans come over with that expectation of, oh, the locker room should look like this. We should be able to
Yeah.
get this type of treatment. We should be able to get these type of meals and things of that nature. I didn't really grow up like that, nor
Hmm.
was I, spoiled in those ways throughout my life, except when I was at that D1 program. So I understood that I had to, kind of do a lot of things myself. And also just, I'm more of a teacher and a coach than I am a player. I am
Yeah.
expected to perform and play, and I do my own programs where I have my own private training sessions, just for me to, enhance my abilities. But I actually honed in with the guys, was really trying to find ways to make them better and just, try to push them to be the best, not just football players, but men that they could be. So it was a little different because none of them, for the most part, they said they never really dealt with an American that pushed them like I did, where
Yeah.
like my receiver group, we running after practice. I don't care what everybody else do. We
Yeah.
running. We receivers, we run majority of the game. You
Yeah.
have to be in shape. They
Yeah.
didn't really like that the first couple of weeks, but it got to the point where actually towards the end of the season, they were like, hey, Malik, can we do this after practice? Can we also, after we run, can we get some throws? Like, so it was really nice, got to build a lot of good relationships. And, I was just blessed to have that opportunity.
That was actually a question that I was about to ask you about the running part because after the game in Valencia, you guys run. You were running. It was
Yes.
because of that?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a standard, you know, and a lot of times as Americans, we go to these different countries or these different teams, and our standards kind of fluctuate based off of our environment. So I try to hold this standard for myself as well as my position group. I can't always
Yeah,
influence the team. I
yeah,
can't always influence the defense, but what I can do is influence my position group. So I set that standard as soon as I come in. Look, I don't care what they do, but when y'all with me, or y'all claim y'all want to be with me, this is what we do. So after every game, if we lose, we got two down. We
yeah,
got down and back. If we win, we just got one down. And it's not really a sprint. It's not really conditioning. It's more so for us to loosen up our legs, kind of like relax our legs and just like stride out the field. As well as it's a way for us to come together at the end and kind of just evaluate the entire game, how we saw it, how
yeah.
we felt. And, I get to really dissect my teammates' brains, at that
Yeah.
time.
Actually, I feel like it works because you guys finish. I mean, when you are on part of the team, you guys finish quite strong. Like the last 2 or 3 games was quite strong. We're gonna talk about it in a bit. So then you make this transition from Germany, went back to the US, and then had the opportunity to play in Brazil.
Yes.
Okay, and you actually won the championship, won the title there.
We run the conference championship.
Oh, the conference championship. Okay,
Yeah. So when then we lost in I want to say that was the semifinals to go to the championship,
championship.
if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken. Yeah.
okay. Same, like Brazil. How? Like, have you been contacted by a coach directly, or like Brazil? I guess another real cultural shock, right?
Major. That one was major. Brazil is crazy. They speak
Yeah,
no English, so you
yeah,
have to be able to speak some Portuguese.
yeah.
Um, well, that was tough because my coach spoke zero English. When I say zero English, I mean zero. He could barely say hi and goodbye.
Yeah,
Like, it was really tough because I'm a quarterback. So it's like,
completely. So you have to you have to talk with your coach. You have to have a bit of
yeah.
communication, the game plan and stuff. So you have to, yeah,
hmm Yeah. So Brazil was different. I'd say it's probably that's getting it out the mud for real. Playing in Brazil. It was hard living. I was fortunate because at the time I had a partner who actually came out there with me, so I spent a lot of time with her.
mhm.
We traveled a lot. We played 4 games in 5 months. Just want to be clear.
Okay, yeah.
So we
So that's nothing.
it was a vacation,
Yeah,
serious, like truly.
completely.
I spent more time traveling and just seeing Brazil than I did playing any football. Um, but I'd say, the culture shock was really the language.
Yeah,
Of course, the football isn't as up to scale. And we had so many imports. Like without the imports, they wouldn't be able to have a team. So
okay,
um, we actually had a team house, which housed like maybe 10 guys, 10,
yeah,
12 guys, players
yeah, yeah.
from Colombia, other parts of Brazil. It was me and another American, my boy Cameron Pugh. Um, yeah, so it was a tough situation, but like I said, man, the beauty of football is you kind of find those people who are like-minded and you kind of hone in together and remember like at the end of the day, we're grateful to play this sport and we're grateful to have people around us that, have the same mindset
Yeah.
and just want to further themselves, make themselves better player, better men, and just, better themselves after this opportunity. So I met some great guys. I still talk to a few of them, like Stewart, who plays for the
Mhm.
Rain Fire right now, who's doing wonderful things. And I have friends in Brazil that if I ever go back, I
Completely.
have somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's crazy how football can like create you or such a big family all around the world if you have the opportunity to play overseas. That's
Yeah.
that's crazy. So then from Brazil came here to oh,
Yep.
have you been already to Germany again? Or you were to Germany again before coming here to
No,
Spain, right?
so after Brazil, I went back home,
Yep.
um, trained and just like got back into my personal training things. At that point in time, a lot of things were happening with one of my businesses. It was kind of collapsing because I didn't do my due diligence as the business owner and
Yeah.
separating myself from the business.
Yeah.
I was very big in micromanaging. I felt like I had to be the person to do everything.
Yeah.
And once I left, that kind of hurt me. So I was doing a lot of trying to pick up some pieces as well as I was building another brand
Yeah.
on the side. And I was speaking with a few teams like the Oslo Vikings. And it came between like the Oslo Vikings and Bielefeld. And ultimately, what it came down to was who was going to really put me in position to further myself, not just
Yeah.
winning or being paid highly because you can't get rich. Let's be real. We
Yeah.
can't get rich playing football over here. So it's
Yeah.
all about positioning. So who's going to put me in a position to win in the next
Yeah.
3 to 5 years? In Bielefeld, it seemed that they were putting me in a good position. The American coach Bert Smith was very cool. He knew a lot about me, so I could tell that he actually cared for who I was, not just as a quarterback and a football player, but as a person on and off the field, and the type of energy that I brought to a club. So I appreciated all of that, and I decided to go to Bielefeld last year.
Yeah. Perfect. So this was in during summer of last year.
Yes,
Summer
2025.
of
Yep.
2025. Okay, perfect. And then that leads you to come here and play in Mallorca. I mean, the last time that we played Mallorca, I remember, I mean, for me, it was 3 years ago. Yeah. And we won by 1 point. And I remember at the end, well, my friend, he was a bit stupid, but we kind of like had a fight at the end of the game. So I don't know if there was still a beef between the two teams when they played. I mean, when you guys play against Valencia at home the first game, or not really, or it was a goal, or maybe you
I
don't
don't know.
remember it.
I'm be
Yeah, I
honest.
remember it.
When it came
Yeah,
to Spain, I never even got into all that beef stuff. It's like,
yeah.
bro,
Okay,
this I'm not getting like,
okay, okay. No
I
problem.
don't know.
So the Mallorcan life, how is it? Because now you're not
The
there
living
anymore. But yeah,
The living was top tier. I'm talking about
yeah.
other than it being cold, it wasn't like freezing. Mind you, it's February,
Uh
January,
huh.
February, March. Um, so it's a little cold, like hoodie type of weather. But in Chicago, it's hoodie, coat, long
Yeah,
sleeve, but
yeah.
like, you gotta bundle up. So I was
And
grateful for that.
that winter in Chicago was actually crazy. Like it was
Hmm.
a minus 30 degrees Celsius. Like I saw a video, it was tough. Like
Yeah.
it was tough. Okay.
I was grateful to be in Spain. The food was good. I tried paella. That was delicious. And just, the people there were amazing. We met some great like locals who
Yeah,
just, kind of showed me around. Had some really good teammates, some good imports. So it was a good time living wise all around.
yeah. And how was your integration to the team?
I'd say that was one of the biggest culture shocks. Um, If I'm being truthful, I was told that we were on the verge of winning a championship, that we were just a few pieces away. The football culture was already, there. And I got to the first practice and I'm like, oh, that was a lie. That was a lie. I think the first practice, I'm not sure if we were able to even do 11 versus 11.
Yeah,
It was more
but
so like 7 versus 7.
that is actually I have the feeling that it's a bit everywhere in Europe. Like most of the team, I would say in second division, I'm pretty sure that no team can do 11 against 11 on the practice.
Yeah,
On the first division, it can be in France or even in Spain, the same. Like it's almost impossible to have a full 11 against 11 in the
that's
training time.
crazy.
So yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, what else?
So yeah, it was just that first practice was like, okay, this is what we working with, this is what we dealing with,
Yeah.
let's work with what we have. First game was tough. We played what was supposed to be the best team in our conference at the time, and we got punched in the mouth. I took one of the hardest hits I've taken overseas ever.
Who was
I
it? The Drags?
The Drax, yes,
Yeah,
Battle on the Drax.
yeah,
It started raining, which made it even worse. So I was just like, you know what? Let's just get out of here safe. At least injuries as possible. Let's just go home. So yeah, the
yeah,
first half of the season was very tough. We were trying to figure out a lot of stuff along the way. We had some very important pieces, get hurt.
yeah,
Um, so it was a lot of just trying to figure out what was possible with what we had,
yeah,
and our coach ended up stepping down halfway through the season. It kind of broke my heart because I'm a type of guy, I respect, communication and honesty, and I make that very clear when I'm in the recruiting process. And it seemed like everybody knew that he was going to be stepping down in the middle of the season, except the import. So that was very frustrating. And for a second, I was really contemplating like leaving because I don't want to deal with that type of stuff. I respect transparency. As long as
yeah,
you're transparent and honest with me, like I'll go to war with whatever we have. But
yeah,
if there's a time where it's like you're leaving me in the dark, but then you're expecting me to be, this light of sunshine and go out there and give my all, it's like, but I can't trust you. So
yeah,
that was tough. But the guys is what really kept me there. Met some really good guys on the team,
yeah,
and as well as my imports. Me being the starting quarterback, I couldn't just walk away from them. So we ended up sticking it out. We still had a lot of changes for the last four games. Our OC Andres came in, was helping out. Or he was assistant OC for the following two games. And then the last two games, he was the OC. Raul was our OC. Shout out to Raul. He was great. First year as OC, I think he did a marvelous job with just, keeping the guys together. And
yeah,
he did a great job by, listening, like he'd ask questions like, what do you think about this? He made adjustments and he really listened. So I appreciated that, as well as like he cared about the players as well as the
yeah,
club. So when he actually stepped down for the last two games, it kind of broke our heart. Well, it broke my heart, and I'm pretty sure the club as well because he's played for this club. He's, a big piece of the club. But at the end of the day, we had two games left, and we had to finish strong. So
yeah.
we just had to do what we had to do.
What was the big switch? Because you guys started, I mean, if I'm not wrong, 0 and 4,
Hmm.
or 0 and 5, 0 and 4,
On four. Well, on five, we lost the first. Yep. No, nope. It was on four. The
0 and
second
4.
one,
Yeah,
the sixth game, we had a tie. So.
yeah, 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 yeah. True. So you guys started 0 and 4, and then the last two games basically win again and again. I mean, to major win that kept the Voltors, so the Mallorca Voltors, in first division. Right now, is it? Are you? I mean, are the place still secure in first division, or not yet?
Um, I think so. They did have a bye week. Valencia had a bye week, not a bye week. They had a game that
Can
was
cancel?
postponed.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to handle that, but they should be starting the playoffs. If not this weekend, the next weekend.
yeah, because Valencia is playing this weekend against the Drags, and then they are playing next weekend against Terrassa Reds.
Oh, so they have two more.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, they have still two more games. Quite tough games, I will say. So I don't know
Hmm.
if based on those games, like they will be. I mean, it will be decide who goes downs or who stays in first division. But I think that Pioneers also have a bad record, so maybe it's gonna be them. I'm not sure about
Hmm.
that. Okay.
So with us winning our last two games, Mallorca definitely won't be going down.
Yeah.
If anybody goes down, it'll be the Pioneers or the Caminados
Yeah.
from the other,
Camioneers.
the other,
Yeah.
from the other
Yeah. Yeah.
conference.
Good. So yeah, what was the big switch? Because you guys were in a losing streak, and then boom, the last two games, two major win. Like, what happened? Did you guys have a conversation between you? Like, what was the switch and decide that okay, now we move forward and yeah,
I
what
would
was it?
say the biggest switch, honestly, we ended up getting two valuable pieces. the last 3 games, I wanna say. Nico, who was a D lineman or DN, as well as Matty.
Mhm.
Those are very 2 good Spanish guys. They actually played in the GFL. They were very valuable. Matty was able to help on the offense and defensive side of the ball, as well as we brought in 2 more or one we lost our linebacker import, I wanna
Mhm.
say, halfway through the season. We bought in another guy named Demetrius from Washington.
Okay.
He was like our receiver. He was like our athlete. He played linebacker and receiver.
Okay.
And Milos Teresa, he came in as our running back and nickel back.
Okay.
The energy from those 2 guys really helped because I truly believe we needed more spark for the defense, at least.
Yep.
Um, and I believe Milos was that. I like to call him a crash out. He don't really like what I call him, but he was our crash out. He was our hype man. He really, riled everybody up. He'd make the crazy play, make people go crazy. So I think we really needed that on the defense. And on the
Yep.
offensive side of the ball was we just really needed a run game. That was really it. We
Yep.
had no run game outside of me running the ball.
Yep.
And that's problematic if your quarterback is the run game. So
Obviously.
having Kim go back there with the backup Duvon, it brought more versatility in the backfield. So now people had to, look out for some of our run plays, which opened up the pass game. So ultimately, I think that was the difference in the offense from the first half of the season compared to the second half.
Perfect. 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 Well, we're gonna switch to another section of the podcast. So I have some question in front of me right now. The idea is like really easy. It's a short question. You can give me a short answer if you want, like really short, or you can elaborate a bit more if you want. But if we can keep it short and really fast, you don't have to think too much about it. It's like, yeah, fast question, fast
Okay.
answer. Yeah, ready?
I think so.
Okay. Between Spain, Germany, Brazil, where is the level better football wise?
Germany.
Germany. Football life or love life? Which one stress you more?
Tough. Love life. Love life.
Love life. Okay. One teammate that you will trust with your money.
Oh, nah, I got to think on that.
Yeah,
Um, I say Demetrius
Demetrius. So from Mallorca, Mallorca
from my
Wanderers.
yeah.
Okay. Who had the most influence on your mindset on the field and off the field?
Overseas or in general, overall?
General, overall.
Ronaldo, Tomasello.
Perfect. In Spain, who was the best player you play with and you playing against?
Are we including imports or only Spanish?
Let's remove the import, like just Spanish.
Just Spanish. Best player I played with. I'd say
Or you can, if you want, you can give me a top three of the best player and yeah, that you play with, and the top three of the best player you play against.
the best I played with. That's tough. I'd have to go with. I really want. It's tough. All right, I'm gonna give you two
Okay,
because I would say Maddie and Juan P. Juan P has played
fun play.
football for 1 year and he's a dog. A
Okay,
dog.
which position he's playing?
He plays DN. Go check out
And
his tape.
okay, number. What's his number? So yeah, I will have a look definitely.
91.
91. Okay, I will
Yep.
have a look definitely. Okay, and the top three best player you're playing against, like
Um,
some player that was like okay, so maybe he can be an import. I mean, if he's not an import, better. But yeah,
I'm gonna do non imports. I'm gonna
yeah,
say number 3 from Pioneers. I
okay,
think he's a really good receiver. He's just in a bad
yeah,
situation. Um, I really like the quarterback from Badalona.
yeah,
Um, hmm. I like I like the D tackle. I can't remember his name. His number is 99, from Teresa.
Okay.
He can't I tell him to this day, he still can't tackle me, but I like the way he get back there.
Okay. Good. 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 Perfect. One. Wait. Where's the question that I wanted to ask you? Yeah. Who believed in you before anyone else did?
My mama.
Of course, except your mom. Let's remove because the mom, yeah, always the mom, always, yeah, but
Mama.
except your mom.
Um, honestly, in the football space, I'd say Ronaldo. I really, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't even be overseas, if I'm being
Yep.
honest.
Yep. Perfect. Um, tu- 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 tu. I had one, but yeah, one thing you wish someone told you before coming play in Europe.
Mm. Your skill does not determine the level you play at.
Hmm. Yeah. Tell me more about that.
That was a good one right there.
That was really a good one.
A lot of people in America think, all right, I'm super good. I played at this level. I know I'm better than this guy. I deserve to be at the highest level in Europe. It's not like that. It's just like in America. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Don't get me wrong. You still have to be good, but if you're good and nobody knows you, you'll probably end up in the fourth lead, fifth lead, and you'll get stuck there. So when
Yeah.
I tell people every time when they come over here, you need to be able to network, talk to
Yep.
coaches, talk to players, treat people right, and just help grow the nurture the game of football over here. Um, Sometimes you can get an opportunity out of nowhere, and sometimes you don't. But the more you teach the game, the more you influence in the game, the more opportunities you'll get.
Good. Best non-financial advice you ever got in the locker room, or even maybe outside the locker room. The best financial advice you received.
Mm, that's a good one. Um, a good leader knows when to be a follower.
You want to say more about that, or we just leave it like this?
So basically, a great leader knows when to step back and allow things to, break down or, fall into place because sometimes you can catch yourself over talking or overplaying your part where people are just like, all right, we're getting tired of this. Sometimes you need to just say what you need to say and allow things to happen, whether it's a fight that breaks out, people quit, people get in arguments. Sometimes that's needed for the overall goal and achievement to be fulfilled.
Mhm. Perfect. Last question. Best financial advice. So, best financial advice that you can give to someone who wants to play in Europe.
If you can't buy it twice, it ain't that nice.
I will say that this is something that I apply like sometimes, and it's it's sure like yeah. I mean, it says for itself. Like yeah,
hmm
nothing else
You
to
can't
say.
get rich over here. So I always tell people take 20% of your overall paycheck and put it
Yeah.
into some type of investment.
Let's talk about money. Like, because this is actually really interesting. So, you've been playing in Europe, I mean, overseas, professional in Europe and abroad since 2021, more or less.
Yeah. hmm
Okay. Can you maybe explain us like how does it work? Like a contract for an American for an import here in Europe. If it's different between Germany, Brazil, Spain, like how was it overall for you?
I'd say the one thing I like about Germany is the sponsorships are more secured in the aspect of, all right, I understand if you can't give me the amount of money I want, right? But if you can take care of all the things that I would spend money on, maybe we can work with something. So, for example, if I'm only getting, and I'm gonna just use random numbers, if I'm only getting 1,000 euros per month, but you're taking care of my food, you're taking care of my housing, you're taking
Yep.
care of my transportation, you're making sure that, of course, my insurance, if you're taking care of all those things, my expenses basically go down to zero.
Yeah.
So now that $1,000 kind of stays in my pocket.
Yeah.
Now, if you're giving me, let's say, 1,500 euros, but I gotta find somewhere to stay or my rent's gonna be, let's say, 400 euros.
Yeah.
I have to spend money on food, and depending on where you are in Europe, because different parts of Europe, the expenses are different.
Yeah.
Um, on average, I say in Germany, I could spend around 400 to 1,500 in euro, 1,500 euros in
Mhm.
groceries. So
Yeah.
if I have to do that, and then I have to figure out my own transportation, and then like that stuff adds up. So that 1,500 now goes down to 600,
Yeah.
550. I'd rather just get that 1,000 euros, get everything taken care of. Now all that's in my pocket.
Yeah, completely, completely, completely. Because I remember, like as I told you, the example of this guy who was playing in Saint-Etienne. This was the deal. He came here. He was also coaching the youth. So my first coach, actually, because I was playing running back, my first coach was a guy who was just finished like 3 or 4 months before, like a NFL combine.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, good. So to have him here, but he was also coaching us. And the deal was with the club that we give him like everything. He was eating in the restaurant of a guy from the team, so he was not paying for that. The gym also was included, was not paying for that. The accommodation was the house of someone from he was not paying for that. So he was good, and he was saying like I cannot complain. Like the city
Yeah.
is really shitty, like that's a fact. But for the rest, I cannot complain. That's really good. And at this time also we had another import. His name was Chris, if I remember correctly. So there were two. So it was like, two American. We discover Europe. We discover, and we can actually with the money that we are making, go and traveling around Europe. So that was basically the deal. I actually like what you said about when you receive your income, like your salary, I will say, like your paycheck, like you put everything on the side. Like, did you already start to invest while playing in Europe? Oh, I mean, I
Uh,
guess maybe you were doing this before.
yeah. Initially, yes, because I mean, once you look at the contract, I'm one of those people. I read my contract myself.
Yeah,
I also have like a lawyer, somebody look over it, especially if I don't understand certain things. Some terms may not be, easy to understand, but I am that type of person where I'm thinking about my future. So like I want to make sure I'm trying to do the best I can to take care of my future self. And by
yeah,
doing that, I've always looked at it as taking 20% out of my revenue to, build is ultimately a starting point because a lot of times, when we get our paycheck, our eyes get big. Oh, I want to go here. I want to do that.
yeah,
I'm gonna go get this. I need new this. And it's like, I mean, next thing you know, you're looking up and your pocket's empty. So
yeah,
um, I like to take out, a certain amount, put it away, or, put it in a certain investment vehicle. I try not to look at it. I
yeah,
eliminate it from my mind as if I don't have it, in hopes that, in 5 to 10 years, and it's in a better position and it's working for
completely.
me.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yeah, completely. Where did you had this mentality, I would say, or maybe this financial education to know that okay, when I receive something, I have to invest directly. Where does this come from? And yeah, how did you um grow up? I would say did this mentality, if I can say it like that.
Um, Initially, I'd say from business. What if you've never owned your own business? You that's the best way to really learn is like once you learn the ins and outs of business and all the different not loopholes, but vehicles of expenses and income, profit and loss margins.
Yeah,
You really start to understand 100,000 is not a lot.
yeah,
Like if I'm making 100,000 but I'm losing 80,000, I ain't really winning,
yeah, exactly.
So the goal is to, try to put as much away as I can, as well as I am blessed enough to have my father's actually in the financial space. So he's,
Mhm.
he actually has a book out that I've read and he actually, is very uh how do I say it? He's very precise on making sure that I'm thinking about the future after I'm
Yeah.
done playing football.
Good. So right now, if we can talk about this, maybe if you want, like, what are your main source of income? Is it just your contract right now, or you also have other business on the side?
So I do have other businesses on the side,
Yep.
more so like my brand.
Yep.
Actually trying to build it out more. Um, how do I say, more brick and mortar, not brick and mortar style, but a more digital presence.
Yep.
So I'm actually trying to work on getting some clothing in stored. I still do training. I
Yep.
do like some online training for people back home. I do personal, training when I go to different teams and locations. I offer private sessions. Just trying to, I guess in a way it's side hustles,
Yep.
just finding other ways to implement income outside of just playing football.
Yep.
And then, making sure I'm just trying to invest properly, you know.
Good. Good, good, good. And what's your long-term vision regarding your investment, or maybe just even also your career? Because we all know that football will end up one day that we will not be able to play. Uh, that's my, I mean, was my time. Like last year was my final game, and I know that I will not play anymore. My
Yeah.
body is telling me that you cannot anymore. But for you, like, what's your like the idea in the long term? Like, how do you imagine or see your career for the next years, 10 to 15 years?
So ideally, I would, if as long as that was the main reason I switched my position to quarterback is the
Yeah,
longevity.
yeah,
Me playing receiver and punt return, kick return, as much as I enjoyed returning kicks and taking it to the
mm,
house, I
yeah,
understood the wear and tear that comes with that. And I wanted to maximize my abilities at the quarterback position. So I know at the quarterback position, I'm more valuable as well as I have a longer stint playing. So ideally, I see myself playing at least another 3 to 5 years. Once I get to that, I think I'll be around 32 at the time. At that
yeah,
time, I want to revisit, kind of just look at, what I have going on, as well as maybe my love life, if I'm having kids, if I want to have kids and stuff like that,
yeah,
and decide if I'll continue by 35. I want to start to convert it over to coaching or training. I'm not sure which one I want to do. I do know I want to be in Germany for
yeah.
majority of the year.
Okay,
I still plan on having businesses and different entities in the States. So
yeah,
ideally, I would like to be in Germany 6 to 8 months out the year and then be in America, about 4 months.
yeah,
Um, I would like to either coach or just train. I'm not really sure. I'm still um, navigating the German space, especially since it's still considered a hobby. I just don't
mhm,
like the mindset necessarily. So I'd rather work with people who are actually dedicated and want to improve instead of just playing with people who want to just put on a jersey so that they can say they play football.
completely.
I
Yeah,
don't I don't really work well with that type of mentality.
yeah. The chance that we have actually also right now in Europe, I mean, there are a lot of things going on, but we have professional leagues that right now are, I mean, are here,
Hmm.
looking for import, looking for coaches, etc. So like we'll say that since 2021, like we can see like a big switch regarding American football. Like it started to be
Hmm.
again more and more professional with the EFA and the EFLE or AFLE, something.
AFLE, yep.
Yeah, AFLE. So yeah, I have the feeling that yeah, there is also a lot of opportunities there, and yeah, how actually do you see like football involving like getting more and more professional in Europe?
I think football is actually growing. I actually plan on hosting camps and things of that nature. So I've actually spoken to some powerhouse guys, as you could say. Like I was blessed with the opportunity to speak with Patrick Usumi,
Yeah,
who was a big part of the ELF. He actually owns
yeah,
the Hamburg Sea Devils.
yeah.
Um, spoke
Commissioner
to
of the
him a
LF.
little. Spoke to him a little bit about some of my future ventures that I would like to start, because the city of Chicago is actually partners with Hamburg.
Uh-huh.
And he was just giving me a little intel about what the NFL has going on, what they have, trying to bring the culture over the American football culture over to Europe. So they're bringing
Yeah,
more football games, NFL games. They're starting more camps. They're having more programs to getting, young German youth players over to schools in America. just different things like that. So I truly believe within the next 3 to 5 years, we'll see another spike. Like you
Yeah.
said, from 2021 to now, there was a spike
Hmm.
in professionalism. I'm hoping to see another spike in professionalism. I
Yeah.
just don't like everybody's trying to replicate the NFL Europe, which failed,
Yeah.
and there's a reason why it failed. And
Yeah.
I think we need to stick to like the local, not local, but the specific country leads, like the German
Yeah.
league, France lead, because trying to bring it all together, the expenses and all of that, football is a very expensive game, you know.
Yeah. It is.
So if their money is not coming in like it should, we shouldn't be trying to force, it to be that professional. We should just continue at the pace that we're at doing, the different
Mhm.
leagues. And then once it gets to that point where we're at that elevated stage, then we can, revisit. But then again, I'm just on the outside looking in. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually watching a lot of the German football league in a time where, like, there was a guy called Silas Nasita. He used to play also. I mean, he played in Germany. He played also in Italy. And I was watching his vlogs, and from his vlogs, I was watching the league like on, I would say, on daily basis. But at a certain time, I was really consuming football like every day, always. It was or the NFL or the NCAA or the GFL or the French league. It was just football. And I remember like at this time, like there were like really, really good teams in Germany. I was thinking
mhm.
about the Swedish Rolls. There was the New York Alliance that was really, really good. So there were a lot of teams, and I had the feeling that the ELF came to really to the nice moment right now because they were. I mean, the level in Germany has always been like above all the other level in Europe. So I had the feeling that, okay, so if those teams can be also able to become professional and play in Europe, it will make also the other country a bit more conscious about the fact that, okay, we need to compete, we need to raise our standard to be able to compete to those guys in Germany. And I had the feeling at the start that, okay, it can be good for football in Europe, but how it's going right now, I'm not that sure, and I can have the same feeling as you that it can be interesting to develop like local um uh local championships, so the German league, local leagues, so the German league, the French league, etc. Because of what happened in Spain, like right now, there is no more professional football in Spain. In
Mhm.
Italy, it was the same, but now it's coming back. There was also Turkey, but yeah, they are not existing anymore. There were Hungary, but now they are playing in Austria or Czech Republic, so or in Poland, I
Mhm.
remember. But yeah, that's quite sad. So I'm really curious about how this season will go with the two leagues, and if there is actually, yeah, a future in Europe. I think so, because the sport is big, and also the NFL right now has big ambition with Europe. So yeah, will be interesting to see.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, Perfect. I think that we cover most of the topic that I had. The last question, I mean, two last question that I would like to ask you first is that, are you also familiar with the digital assets? Because I mean, I'm talking about Bahari Consulting, but we are also specialized in digital assets. So are you maybe familiar with this?
I am familiar with digital
Yeah. Have
assets.
you also invest in digital assets already, or is something that you try to avoid? Because yeah,
No, no, no. I've invested in a few digital assets previously in my past days,
yeah,
such as the crypto space and things like that.
yeah,
But I'm been more so eyeing the AI space and more
yeah.
and like creating something that then
Good,
becomes its own digital asset, if that makes sense.
good, good. Yeah, that's good that you are familiar with this. This is a first a great point. So perfect. And the last question that I want to ask you, and this is a question that I ask to all the people that I receive on the podcast, is who do you think should be the next guest of this podcast?
Uh I'm gonna be honest. I'd say Ronaldo Tomasello. He's a big shot in the Euro space. I mean, he comes to my games and people are I hate it because it'd be my teammates and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, is that?" I'm like, "Bro, like chill. I'm on your team.
Yeah,
I like,
yeah, yeah.
I'm on your team. You ain't got to worry about him, But I think he'd be a good person. He'd give you he has a great story. I do believe he has a
Yeah,
great story. And he's been able to influence a lot of people's careers. So I think he'd be a great person to have on here.
perfect. Well, I will send this part of the podcast to him, and hopefully we'll get to have him on the podcast. Well, Malik, I think that we arrived to the end of this conversation. Thank you very much. Do you have a bit? Oh no, sorry, we have two things to talk about still. Your podcast coming soon.
Yes, yes. We have Import House Podcast. You guys can
Yeah,
follow us on Instagram, YouTube. Um, working on the TikTok. I personally don't like TikTok, and I'm the person doing all the marketing. So I will
yeah,
do a TikTok. I just don't like it too much. But yes, we have Import House Podcast. You can follow us on that on those platforms. It's a podcast just about the the transition of being an import from America to Europe, or just
yeah,
overseas in general. It's a free space for imports to come tell their stories, some of the issues they may have, and it's a way for us to give advice to those looking to come over here and how to kind of navigate this
yeah.
lifestyle.
Good. Yeah, I really recommend everyone to go and follow this podcast. For also people who are maybe, I don't know. I mean, right now we are talking about football, but just to be conscious that yeah, there are also other opportunities. There is another way that most people have maybe in their mind, that is come and play in Europe. Most of the people have the feeling that okay, I have to go to college, and after college, it's already NFL or
Hmm.
maybe also the CFL. But they also can have in mind that there is another path, it's to come to play abroad. And I think that because you have the experience, you can bring a lot of value to a lot of
Yeah.
people. So
And
perfect.
even if you didn't play in college, if you only play in high school, you actually
Yeah,
have an advantage.
of course.
Just text me and ask me how.
Perfect. I will leave also the information of Malik in the description. Well, thank you very much for this conversation. If you have one final word that you want to say, maybe for your coming season, coming to when your season starts, actually in Germany.
Um, so our first game is on the 17th of April,
Okay,
against Paderborn Dolphins. Um, it's our first game of the season, so pretty
yeah.
excited for that.
Perfect. Well, wish you all the best for the coming season. And for the people who are actually hearing this podcast, thank you very much for tuning in. You have all the information in the description to follow our guest and to basically get to know Bahari Consulting a bit more. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.
Peace.